everyone. Welcome to the first episode of our new podcast series, Bolder Voices, Better Insights, an initiative by Travel Trends Today, the one and only podcast made to draw some thought-provoking insights about the ever-transforming scenario of the travel, tourism, and hospitality sectors from the industry veterans. Let us embark on an inspiring journey as we have an incredible personality with us who truly needs no introduction. A person setting definitions beyond the ordinary. He is a man who has made unparalleled contributions to the dynamics of the hospitality business in India, ranging from 1991 and even prior to that. Mentioning a few of his current engagements, he is the Vice President of Hotels Association of India. He is also the Chairman Emeritus and Principal Advisor South Asia at Radisson Hotel Group and a member of the Confederation of Indian Industries National Tourism Committee. Therefore, without any further delay, myself, Kuhelika Roy Chaudhary from Travel Trends Today, request you all to spare a few minutes and join me in welcoming Mr. KB Kachru on board as we take off for an interesting conversation. Welcome, Mr. Kachru.
Thank you. It's very nice to be here, and I am glad that I am doing the first podcast with you. I think it's really an incredible start by you all, this new initiative. Very happy to hear that, and I think our industry needs to make bolder decisions, and we need to actually penetrate down the line at the shop floor level and see what's happening, what do we want, and where do we want to go.
Truly, indeed. Mr. Kachru, being associated with the industry since the tender age of 21 and renowned as one of the prominent growth drivers in the hospitality industry, the audience, I'm sure, would be really eager to know from you, what are the emerging trends of the Indian hospitality business and your opinion on the growth projections?
You know, as you correctly said, I have been around for a while, and I have actually grown seeing how the industry has changed. And every decade, there is new transformation. And what was good yesterday is not good today. And what is good today is going to be different tomorrow. And, there's a very old saying, they say, you always say, today we're doing this and we're embarking on a new path, it's going to be great. But nobody has seen future. Nobody has actually seen. And what would be good tomorrow? I think we all have to anticipate and prepare ourselves of what can happen and which path do we need to take. I think that's important. I feel the market dynamics have changed in a very big way. Things have changed in every vertical of tourism and civil aviation. So, in as far as hotels are concerned, I mean, we have actually moved away from just a few select places. I mean, focus used to be earlier on all the gateway cities, whether it was Delhi, Mumbai, Bangalore, Calcutta, Chennai. I mean, then we moved to state capitals.
Yes.
From state capitals, we're looking at tier 2 and tier 3 towns now. And many of us realized it rather in time that, we need to focus and seriously look at domestic tourism. And, let me be honest, had it not been for domestic tourism, I think most of us would have been in greater trouble. We were in trouble, and some of us are still trying to stabilize and move to better things. But focused on tier 3, tier 4 towns has really given us advantage. And today, and not only international brands, all reputed domestic chains in hotels and in creating new destinations, they're nearer to tier 2, tier 3 cities. I mean, if you were to draw a parallel, basically, almost 50% of our GDP comes from tier 2 and tier 3 towns. That actually shows you what our growth is. So we are moving towards that. What else is happening in our industry? I mean, we have moved from traditional classical to more contemporary hotels. From contemporary hotels, we are moving to smart hotels. We are moving to lifestyle hotels. They want to do smart hotels in in places like Amritsar, in places like Indore, in Nagpur. That's how things have changed.
Truly, Mr. Kachru, talking about growth and changing trends, I would also like you to draw a little light on the current performance in terms of occupancy, average room rate, and revenue per available room from an industry perspective, so that the audience also has a clearer vision of the growth of the scenario.
Crossed majority, when I say majority, means most of India, I think, has already achieved pre-COVID rates. Some cities during the COVID period, particularly leisure destinations, did very well. So there the growth between 21 and 22 is not much. But when you see pre-COVID and post-COVID, there is a huge difference. I mean, now what has happened is between 22 and 23, while Goa has had a reasonable increase. I mean, some places like Mumbai, Bangalore, and Delhi, they have seen fantastic growth between 21 and 22, from 90% to over 100% growth in ADRs. So, but I think domestic movement has a lot to contribute. People have started living for today. People want to move out, and the great initiative by Government of India on Dekho Apna Desh, people who used to just want to travel outside, overseas, go overseas, they're giving second thoughts. They want to see their own country first. And I think that has made a lot of difference. High spending people who wanted to travel probably 3 times a year outside the country would rather do it once. They would like to go around their own country and see various places and don't mind paying the right rates, and but don't want to give away their comfort. So that has improved our average rates and RevPAR to a great extent.
Mr. Kachru, as you have mentioned about the domestic scenario in particular, on shifting the perspective towards a little on the urge or the long pending demand of the hospitality industry a little. Recently, Tourism Minister Reddy talked about the industry status in terms of the hotel industry in Rajya Sabha. I believe this is an important area where the audience would really want to know your input. How do you see this development unfolding, Mr. Kachru?
I think, everybody has realized that tourism can contribute very seriously to our economy. And we were lucky to get the attention of our Prime Minister, and he declared it himself that tourism is one of the key pillars of the economic growth.
Yes.
So that has created a pathway to get attention of everybody in terms of doing what is necessary. Now there is, as far as our industry is concerned, both from Hotel Association of India, from CII, Faith, our collective body, all of us have been saying that, we don't want doles, we don't want subsidies, we want tweaking of policies. We want the government to take a long-term view of what is important. Now that long-term view is declare tourism as infrastructure. That is the amendment our parliament has to consider. And they're very positive. We have met the key members of the Parliamentary Committee on Tourism and Civil Aviation. They all agree with us that yes, set a path where we can attract foreign direct investments. Now you see, hospitality industry, particularly hotels, it is highly capital intensive. And if we don't get the right interest rates for loans, we don't get the possibilities of easy getting licenses easily, ease of doing business, to put it as a bottom line. It won't attract the kind of investments we want. And the second subject is giving it as an industry status. The Ministry of Tourism, along with HAI, CII, and Faith, have worked together and impressed upon various state governments that they need to give industry status to the tourism as such. Now, what will this do is it'll set some benchmarks in terms of operating incentives, whether it is power tariff, whether it is licensing. I mean, we have had times when during COVID, bars were closed. We still had to pay excise money. I mean, it is ridiculous that we don't tweak such things. We need to tweak such things. We have to see the ground reality. How would an operator, when he has closed shop, he still pays for the licenses? So all these would be addressed if states declared it as an industry, because it's a state subject. It's not a central subject. Yes. So our Secretary of Tourism and our Minister have emphasized, and I'm glad to tell you that about 18 states have already declared tourism as an industry. Now here comes the real task, is execution of that. Some states have initiated the process. They have to pass certain notifications which will actually give those incentives. So once that happens, then you can see the result of that. But I think as a first step, 18 states coming forward and declaring tourism as an industry and setting up policies, I think is a great achievement. And I mean, thanks to our own Ministry in Tourism.
Thank you, Mr. Kachru, for that inspiring and positive note. And we surely look forward to seeing the sun shining bright in favor of the hotels industry. Moving forward, talking about one of the emerging key focus areas of the hotel business, hotels are looking at religious tourism as a growth enabler. So we are keen to know, what is the ground reality, Mr. Kachru? How are they contributing to the local economy?
You know, it is, at the moment, it is directly linked to domestic movement. People who, as I said earlier, only wanted to travel abroad. I mean, there are very few people from north who will go to extreme south, and somebody from east goes to west. I think everybody has realized that they actually need to see other regions of India. We are a very diverse country. I mean, we have different languages, we have different food. I mean, when somebody from Kashmir goes to Kerala, I mean, it's a different world. And that eagerness to see that has actually motivated everybody to put in money, create infrastructure, and also develop tourism. Now, if you have any specific questions to ask about as to what is happening in terms of religious tourism, I mean, some of the places which have great historical, cultural part to play have been developed. Look at what has happened to Kashi, Varanasi. I mean, you can't, I personally have worked in Varanasi for 4 years. And what I see Varanasi when I was working and what it's today is a world of a difference. People want to go there because they can walk around. they can go. It's like on one hand we say ease of doing business, the other way is ease of looking at these places. You can walk around, you can go. So what the industry and the government is doing together is creating circuits.
Yes.
And government is actually helping even establishing rail networks to see and making it was like olden days. You had a golden triangle for infrastructure, roads, Delhi, Agra, Jaipur. So it got shown around the world, all over the place. Everybody recognized Taj Mahal. We have to see Jaipur, and we have to see Delhi. In the same manner, whether it is Buddhist circuit, in Bihar there are so many places. Then it's connected with Gorakhpur and other places. So the connectivity has improved a lot, which will promote. Look at Ayodhya. I mean, one country, unless you go and see, you cannot imagine how it has been transformed. So that will help. People have started going. I used to serve myself on the board of Mata Vaishno Devi Shrine Board. And somebody wants to go and see Ayodhya. They want to see what is around that. They also want to go and see Varanasi. So all this will help in a big way in doing probably a 5x tourism moment for religious tourism. So it's happening. It's already started happening. We need to, if we really want tourism to grow, we have to focus on infrastructure. Now, how will we focus on infrastructure is ease of doing business and incentivizing people to invest in infrastructure. Without infrastructure, nobody would go. You can create a lot of destinations, but if there is no place to stay there, if there are no facilities to use them, why would people go? So I think it is a package we have to consider in totality. We cannot just say, no, we have declared, we have put air connectivity there, that's it. No, we have to have different parts of the game together and play it together.
Beautifully spoken, Mr. Kachru. I think the audience is feeling quite fortunate already, seeing and listening to this wondrous and insightful statement that you have made. Mr. Kachru, talking about India as overall, as you have already mentioned, India being at the forefront of global tourism now, and even before, attracting global tourists and investors, how do you see the prospect flowing for inbound tourism?
Get a bit more clarity on it. You see, there are two things. One is getting investments to develop infrastructure to have inbound tourism. That's one. Second is pure, what are we doing to attract people to come here as visitors? I think we have to put our act together, first of all, in creating infrastructure at already established places. That's number one. Why reinvent the wheel? Then creating more destinations, putting infrastructure, whether it's in terms of roads, rail, aviation, and anything related to that. That's one. Second is, if we want international tourists to come here, what they look at Dubai and Singapore, what have they done? An average stay over the years has gone up by 3x. Because there is so much to do. So we have to ensure. I mean, look how some of our current cities are working at. Look at Gurgaon, for example, in Delhi itself. By creating infrastructure in terms of giving so much of food and beverage option to people, creating entertainment centers, people are thronging. You cannot get a seat anywhere. So in the same manner, I think if we want to popularize, have a pull factor, we have to actually package each destination, each city appropriately. I mean, G20 is a fantastic initiative. Now you will have people from over 200 countries coming here. They'll be our ambassadors when they go back. They see the likes of Udaipur, Kaziranga, Shillong, Kohima. They'll go and see Kashmir. I mean, there would be a totally different perspective of what India is. So you have to create such opportunities, and I'm really glad it has started happening. Everything will not happen overnight. It started happening, and let's, as an industry, I think we need to take on our responsibilities, not only think and depend on the government. Industry on its own also has to take a lot of initiative in doing correct things and encouraging and sending back satisfied guests we have in the country.
Beautifully spoken, Mr. Kachru. The statement that you have mentioned, that satisfying the visitors that we have here, I think it is one of the most important prospects that can really attract inbound tourism. And I think the audience is quite happy to learn and listen something that it's wanting to know from you since a long time. Moving forward, another significant area that is absorbing great attention these days, be it guests, employees, stakeholders, locals, is the hospitality business's role and impact on the environment. Mr. Kachru, how do you see the Indian hospitality industry adopting sustainable practices?
I think to start with, I just want to make one statement. Sustainability is no longer a buzzword.
Yeah.
It used to be just a buzzword long time back, and everybody used to say this is important.
Mm-hmm.
But now it's actionable. We all have realized that if we don't do it today, we'll be left behind. There are two sides to it. Somebody staying in a luxury hotel, really don't want to give up. He doesn't want to give up on the comforts. He wants his, a hat towel he uses, he wants to change it. I mean, we have to accept the ground reality. If he is paying high rates, psychologically, he wants to feel that level of luxury and comfort and wanting to do something. But what is our role in it is making him aware. If he or she does this, how would it benefit the community? We have a hotel company in India where we have ensured that every drop of water, what they save, what does it mean in terms of quantifying at the end of the day? And in their WCs, if they see the color of the water slightly not normal, it is only because it has been recycled, but it's 100% hygienic. Guests would accept something like this, but you have to create that awareness. You have to communicate with the guests, and believe me, a lot of guests are so proactive. They feel, yes, it is now their role to actually accept these things and do something for the community.
Truly wonderful, Mr. Kachru. I actually can't thank you enough for sparing time and bringing such a detailed perspective and the bird's eye view of the industry at the forefront of the T3 audience. Mr. Kachru, any message that you want to give to our audience in particular?
Well, I think we can say two things: that we should never ever give up, and we can do it. And I think it's a great opportunity for all of us to make things happen. We, after a long time, almost everybody is together and has the same objective. We're not going in different directions, whether it's all associations or the government. We are all trying to see what our objective is and working towards the objective. We may not get 100%. I mean, that's true. But as long as we know where we are going, what we are trying to achieve, it may take a little longer. We need to have some patience, but we will achieve. We'll never, ever give up.
I'm sure the audience, including myself, is totally mesmerized to have your presence and time today for this podcast series, carrying forward the infectious positivity brought by you, Mr. Kachru, and also thanking the lovely audience joining the session. This is Kuhelika Roy Chaudhary signing off as we promise to get back with another detailed session, with another voice and another insightful conversation. Stay tuned for more. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.